right, so we are going to be working with surface area today. Obviously, we're gonna do our surface area brain dump. We're gonna take a couple notes on surface area. We are gonna go through some word problems on surface area. And the reason I printed these out for you guys is because it's really hard to do surface area when you can't write on the problem. So that is why you have printed out rather than on your iPads. So we are gonna need something to annotate while we're going through these. And then you're gonna do some math problems around the room with a partner today. Yesterday you did them independently, today you're gonna have a partner. And these are gonna be the ones we're doing, not the ones that are up there from yesterday. Okay? So go ahead, get something out to highlight with. And then there was something else I was gonna tell you about. Oh, have your notebooks where when you are doing your brain dump, I can come around and quickly check your homework from last night. There's 3 problems you had to do. So take like a minute and look back at your EOG review notes to see, just kind of refresh your memory about surface area. And set my timer for 1 minute. Once it goes off, you're gonna go ahead and start your brain dump. All right, go ahead and turn your page to your brain dump page for today for surface area. Give me a thumbs up when you are ready. you're writing the whole time, so your pencil should be moving on your paper, you should not be looking at anything, you should just be pulling everything you can remember out of your brain. Alright, go ahead, put pencils down. Alright, let's go ahead and list some of the stuff that you guys came up with when thinking about surface area. So what is one? Joe?
You have to, do length times width, and length times height, and then height times width.
Okay, so there is a formula that you can use. Alright, Marion. Say it again. Okay. Andrew?
Use two strategies in that for the decomposing and
So two strategies. You said decomposing, and what was the other one?
net.
Let's talk about a net real quick. What's a net? I know that's kind of a side note, but what's a net?
A net is pretty much a 3D shape broken down into a bunch of 2D shapes.
Okay. All right. What else did we put down for surface area? Callie.
Separate your net into different shapes.
Separating it into different shapes. Okay. Gabby.
Surface area is the area of a 3D shape.
All right. What else? Try to get like two more things if possible. From maybe someone I haven't heard yet. Sophia.
To add up all of, so you have to have an area of all the shape, two shapes, and then you add them, you get the surface area.
All right, and then one more thing. Have I heard from you, Soraya? Okay.
two identical shapes and you found the area for one of them, are the ones
I
the
have no idea what you're saying.
If you have two identical shapes and you find the area of one, they have the same area.
Okay. So like opposite sides, rectangular prisms could fall under that. Cause like, it's a rectangular prism, like these two sides are the same, these two sides are the same, okay. So you said opposite sides have the same area. Okay, alright, that's better than I thought it was gonna be, if you wanna know the truth, cause again, surface area was how many months ago, like 9? Feels like forever ago. So that makes me feel good that we do remember some of the important things. Very quickly, we're gonna deal with a lot of nets today in our word problem practice that we're gonna do. And a couple of you guys pointed out that you essentially have to find the area of those and then add them up. You can decompose those shapes to help you and add those up. You can also draw the nets of the 3D shapes to help you find the surface area. All right, anybody else want to add anything else? Okay.
Basically what Sarai said is when you get your answer for one side, you can multiply it by 2 to equal both identical sides.
I think I forgot to add that. All right, yes.
When you're finding the area, the surface area of a cube, if you find the area of one of the squares, you can just multiply it by 6.
Okay. Surface area of a cube. Find one square and multiply by 6. And everybody understands why we can do that with a cube? Does anybody not remember why? Okay, you want to add something else? No?
I don't know for fact, but you can't really use like snake commands, like if doing triangle prism, like in the net, you can't use the one side, you have to use the
Okay, Andrew?
In the net, all the, not the equations, but I don't remember what it's called, but they're all the same for all the shapes. It's like, with the triangle, it's base times up.
Okay, so area formulas.
Yeah, formula.
And surface area are the same as an gray area. Is that what you're saying? All right. Yes.
Surface area is measured in squares and squared.
Okay. All right. Okay. Really good job, guys. Like, that's fantastic. All right, so let's slide over, and we're gonna take some notes today. I am gonna let you know there's gonna be a little bit of writing, so prepare yourself. We're gonna start with .3D figures. So the first thing is a 3D figure. Is a solid figure. Good Lord, I just had a total brain fart. Solid figure made up of 2D shapes. Surface area is a solid figure. Is the sum of Bless you. Alright, give me a thumbs up when you're done. Alright, down here, you are going to draw a shape. Just do the best that you can, doesn't have to be perfect. And then I lied, you're gonna need, 3 colors for this one. Alright, so the inside of this shape, what are these called that I'm coloring right here? Are they the edges, the vertices, or the faces? The ones that I just shaded in, what do we call those? Addie? Alright. So those are the faces. What are those called that I just essentially outlined? Yep. And then what are those purple dots called?
Edges.
Nope. Purple dots. Bria?
Vertices?
Alright, so now, once you get that done, you can go ahead and put the 3 colors away and just keep going out. And get out your word problems. Okay, we are going to be starting over here on number 1. It says the net of a triangular prism is shown below. What is the surface area of the prism? Alright, so what's important in this problem? In the word problem itself? Joe?
Net of a triangular prism, triangular right prism.
Okay. So it's telling us what type of prism it is. What else is important? What was that?
The whole bottom part of the question.
Okay, but what's really important within this question? Kira?
Surface area?
Alright. Okay, so we have our net. I feel like surface area is much easier when you are given a net or when you draw a net and you label it correctly because it's, to me, it's a little bit easier to break it down. What do you notice about this shape? So what do we notice about this shape? Andrew? There's 3 rectangles. Alright, what's the formula to find the area of a rectangle? Mariah? Alright, so for our rectangles, we're gonna be using length times width. Alright, so we have 3 rectangles, and then what else do we notice about this shape? Lily? Alright, and we have a triangle, so what's the formula to find the area of a triangle? Kira?
Base times height divided by 2.
So these are the 2 formulas we're going to be using when we find each area. So let's start with this big rectangle right here, and I'm gonna cover as much of it as possible just so I can see just that big rectangle. What 2 numbers are we using with this rectangle? Gabby?
8 and 10.
So I'm gonna do 8 times 10, which gives me what? Gabby?
80.
80. So this is 80 inches squared. Alright, so does that mean these 2 are also 80 inches squared? Why not, Levy? Right, they're not the same size, and how do you know they're not the same size?
Sides of that as well.
Right, the sides say 5, so you can't just assume because there's 3 rectangles that they're all the same. You have to make sure you're looking at everything. Now, Levy, what is the same on the 2 bottom rectangles that's the same as the big rectangle? The 10. And we know opposite sides are the same, so we know that that side is going to be 10. So when we're finding the area of this rectangle, what 2 numbers are we using? Carter? So we're going to do 5 times 10, which gives us 50. So each one of these are 50 inches squared. Do I have to do the math for this one?
No.
Why not? Why don't I have to? Lauren? Right, you already figured it out. So really, guys, that's kind of like a time saver. You don't have to do it unless you want to. If you want to, you want to. That's fine. But you don't have to because you know that they are the same. All right, so we're done with our rectangles. Now let's look at our triangles. So one triangle has an 8 and one triangle has a 3. How do I put that information together, to figure out what numbers I'm using? Joe?
Well, if you look at this triangle, the base of the triangle is 8 and the height is 3. And base times height is the triangle formula, so we'd be doing 8 times 3.
How did you figure out the base was 8 and the height was 3?
Because 8 is under the base of the triangle. It is also the same size as the height of the rectangle, which means it's both 8 as well.
So what I think you're trying to say is the opposite sides of a rectangle are the same?
Yeah.
Okay, so if this side is 8, we know this side is 8. Okay, just wanted to make sure. So then, yes, we're going to do 8 times 3, which gives me what? Andrew? And then 24 divided by 2 equals what? 12, okay? And so this triangle is 12 inches squared. What do we know about this triangle? Levy?
Same size.
Same size. So therefore, we don't have to do that extra step of math. All right, are we ready to do the final step of adding all of our shapes together and then finding out what our surface area is? All right, so you can do 80 plus 50 plus 50 plus 12 plus 12. Stand up when you have your answer. A whole lot more people should have said a whole lot faster. Why? Why?
Because it's really easy to add the 250 and then plus
Nope.
8.
Nope. Why should you stood up almost immediately once you started adding? You'll find out in a second. Don't throw your hands up at me. Don't throw your hands up at me. You'll see why in a second. Andrew. Nope. Y'all are doing too much. Y'all doing way too much. Lily.
Because the first thing is 4, 2 plus 2, which is 4, and the only answer with 4 in the ones place is 8.
Exactly. So by doing 2 plus 2, you get 4 in the ones place. How many answers up there have 4 in the ones place? 1. That is it. You don't have to go any further. Y'all gotta start using your answer choices. Now, I'm not saying you were wrong, Elizabeth, and I'm not saying you were wrong, Andrew, sorry. But make it easy for yourself. Make it simple. All right, use your answer choices. All right, let's slide over to, let's do number 2. All right, so number 2 says a right triangular prism is shown below. What is the surface area of the triangular prism? So what's important in this question? What's important? Abby? Okay, and then what else is important?
The question and surface area.
All right, so knowing that we're finding the surface area and then obviously this whole question. All right, we know this is a triangular prism, so what do we know about both triangles? What do we know about both of these triangles? Addie. They're going to be the same. So if I'm finding a right triangle, the formula is still going to be the same, so it's going to be base times height divided by 2. So I'm going to turn my paper so that the only thing I'm looking at right now is this triangle. What do I know about this 9 and this 12? What do I know about the 9 and the 12? Carter?
That's the height of the triangle.
And guys, if you did not turn your paper and cover everything up, what do we know about the 9 and the 12? Elizabeth?
They multiply them together to get the area.
So what do we know about the 9 and the 12? They are what? Yes, they are your base and your height. All right, so you are going to do 9 times 12. What does that give you when you do 9 times 12? Andrew? 108. Now, do I have to divide 108? Why not, Ben?
Because since there's two triangles, you don't actually have to divide them.
Right.
It's just a decent time.
Right. So you have to start registering in your brain that y'all told me that both triangles are the same, right? So if I divide 108 by 2, I'm going to get what, 54? But then I'm just going to turn around and add that 54 back together, right? So why, you can still divide it if you want to, but this is taking an extra step away from you because now you've already found the area of these two triangles by living at 108. Does that make sense to you guys? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, if it doesn't make sense, by all means, please go ahead and divide this by 2 and you end up with 54. Each one of these triangles is 54, right? All right, now, this is where, again, it gets kind of hard. And I try to cover up as much as possible, so I'm only looking at one shape at a time. What are the rest of our shapes? What are the rest of our shapes? Juan?
Rectangle.
All right, Juan, what's the formula to find the area of a rectangle?
Height times width.
Yes, so I'm gonna do length times width. So I'm going to, again, turn my paper sideways, and I'm gonna cover up everything except for this front rectangle. What two numbers do we have? What is that god awful squeak?
Something in the hallway.
Good Lord.
So that was like, yeah,
Isabel.
5 times 20.
All right, so I'm going to do 15 times 5, which is gonna give me what? 75? 75. So this front rectangle right here is 75. All right, so I found 2 triangles and 1 rectangle. I have how many rectangles left? 2 more. So I'm gonna just draw another one so I keep track because these are different than the other rectangular prism we did because all those were pretty much the same and easy to see. So now I'm gonna cover up this information. What 2 numbers do you see? Ben? 5 and 12. So I'm gonna do 12 times 5, and that gives me 60. My math is fantastic today, by the way. All right, we have one more rectangle that we have to find. So now, when I do the trick I've been showing you guys, I cover everything up, but what's wrong? What happened? What happened, y'all? Caitlin, what do you see that's wrong? Right, so with doing this strategy, you realize, okay, well, we have one number. So then we have to go back a step and say, okay, well, how do I figure out what this side is? How do I figure that out? Ben?
Use the 5 from the other rectangle we just did and add.
Why?
Add it to that one. Because on a rectangle, both or one set of sides are the same and the other set of sides are different.
Yes. So essentially Ben's saying the opposite sides are the same. So now I figure that out, I can cover everything up. And what 2 numbers do I have for this rectangle? Indira? 9 times 5 equals 45. So now do I have all the numbers I need in order to add up to find the surface area? All right, so go ahead. So my of you guys are getting smarter. You're working. Some of y'all still taking too long. We should all have an answer by now. Why? Why should we all have an answer by now, Elizabeth?
Because we'll be right. There's only one answer.
Well, obviously there's only one right answer, but why? Like, how can you automatically, after doing just your ones place, know what your answer is? Soraya. There's only one answer to the 3 in the ones place. All right, so your answer for this one should be 333.
Wait, what? It's not. It's 8
Hey, I'm just rolling with it.
5 plus 5.
It's 10.
No, it's 3. It's
And then
13.
there's 11 over 8.
It's 13.
No.
I promise you.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
At least y'all are paying attention today. Jeez. Hey, I'm just making sure y'all are with me. That's all. No, I totally didn't add it. Like, I just wrote a 3 and just rolled with it. I don't have an answer key today, so y'all are teaching me. All right. We are going to do number 3. Andrew, you lost your bus form? Why did you tell me you lost your bus form? You just said you didn't have it. Your mom just told on you.
I looked for it last night.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't find it. So
Uh-huh.
I thought it was still on my iPad. It's probably in my book bag somewhere. But it's gone now.
It's just disintegrated. Okay. All right, so number 3, it says the net of a rectangular prism is shown below. What is the surface area of the rectangular prism? All right, what's important in this question? I got the same people. Let's get some new. Every question, this surface area is almost the same. Bryson, what's important in this question?
The net, the rectangular prism,
Okay. What else is important?
surface area,
And
the question.
the question itself. All right. So, what do we know about all the shapes in this rectangular prism? Alex, what do we know about every shape that is up there? They're all rectangles. So the only formula you are going to be using is length times width, right? All right. Now, somebody told me. Who told me that opposite sides have the same area and you can multiply those by 2? Is that you or Ben? Or was it a combination of both? I feel like something. Who told me that? Soraya, and you added the extra. Okay. I knew it was a boy in a girl, I just wasn't sure. Okay. So does that rule that you guys told me about apply to this shape? Yes or no? Yes, because what do we know about all rectangles? What? Right, so everything that is opposite is the same. So essentially, this is an A, and this is an A. And this is a B, and this is a B, and then this is a C, and that is a C. Which means all of those that have the same letter in them are going to be the same area. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna find the small one first because it's got the most numbers with it. So we're gonna do 3 times 9, which gives me what? Alex? 27. So this one is 27 inches squared, and this one is 27 inches squared. Does everybody understand why? Is there anybody who doesn't understand why? Okay, so let's look at this middle, the biggest box here. We have a 9, but we don't have another number. Where do I get my other number from? Andrew?
From the very top rectangle, after you put 15 down, just something.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's gonna be 9 times 15, which gives us what? Callie? 90 what? 135? 147?
226.
226, I like that one. 226. What was it? I'm sorry. 135? Alright, so this one is 135. So this one is 135. We agree? Do we need to do the extra math? No. Saving that time. Alright, and then the last box is one of the smaller ones. And I see that it's got 15, but I have no idea what my other number is. Addie?
Okay, so the way I look at it is if you actually fold the box together, the 3 on the other side's the same. And another thing at the very top, if you look at it, when they fold together, the 3's together with it. So if you figure out the first one, then you can really.
Alright, so you're telling me that this side is 30. Okay, so we're gonna do 15 times 3, and what does that give me?
65.
Are you sure?
Wait.
I know my math isn't great today.
Wait, 45.
Okay. Woo, got me scared for a minute. So this is 45, and this one is gonna be 45. So you can do one of two things. You can multiply all these by 2, and then add up your totals, or you can just do 27 plus 27 plus 135 plus 135 plus 145 plus 145. When you have your answer, please stand up. All right, does our trick work in this one?
Hide this. No.
Well, it helps us eliminate that answer, right?
Yeah.
Helps us eliminate the middle one, but then we gotta do another step. We gotta do that tens place. All right, what do you get for the correct answer? Excuse me, Levy.
I got 414.
414? Mm-hmm. Do you guys all get that? Okay. I did all the calculations, so I'm making sure. All right. So between these 3 problems, how do we feel? Okay. Honestly, guys, like we did a net for a triangular prism. We did a non-net question, and I feel like you guys did fairly well with it. And then we did a net for a rectangular prism. Open up your page. All right. Now, pyramids. To me, pyramids are the easiest thing in the world, but for whatever reason, we really struggle with them, and I'm not sure why. So let's go ahead and go over this one. So it says each triangle in the net below has a base of 6 centimeters and a height of 8 centimeters. What is the surface area in square centimeters of the figure represented 5 in net? So what's important in this question? Juan.
This is 6 centimeters and 103 centimeters.
Okay, and what kind of shape is the base and the height going with?
A triangle.
Right. Right. And that's really important for us to know that each one of these triangles has a height of 8 and a base of 6. All right, what else is important, Juan?
What is the surface area and square centimeters of the figure represented by the net?
Okay, and then there's 2 more things in that question that we just want to make sure we highlight.
In the net.
So net, and then one other thing.
Surface area.
Yes, sir. Good job. All right, so we have a triangle, obviously, because it tells us in this part up here that each triangle, so we're going to use this formula. But then what is our base? What is our base, and how do we know what our base is? Lily? I have no idea what you just said.
6 centimeters, because it says that the base is 6 centimeters.
Right, but what kind of shape is it? We got to know the shape in order to be able to find the area. How do you know?
Because all the sides are equal.
And that you got that information from where? Yes, because it's telling us that each one of our triangles have a base of 6, right? And then we know that that is going to be like times width. Go ahead. So we're gonna do a triangle first. So we're gonna do 8 times 6, which gives us what? What's 8 times 6? Callie. Now, am I gonna divide 48? You can, or you cannot. Andrew, what do you wanna do?
You don't,
Why?
because you're just gonna end up adding up like again.
So are you telling me that each one of these are 48?
I mean, the area isn't, because you have to divide by 2.
Okay, so then technically 2 of these together are 48. So this is gonna be 48 for both of those, so then what do I know about both of these?
Those are gonna be 48.
Okay, so be careful with that one. So that's a little confusing. I want you to divide by 2, get 24, and realize this is 24, this is 24, this is 24, and this is 24. Okay, either way, you're gonna get the same answer. So it doesn't matter that you're dividing or you're not dividing, but you do have to understand that in a triangular or a square pyramid, good lord, that you actually have to multiply your triangles by 2, your answer. Okay, and then what is our numbers for our square? Elizabeth.
6 and 6.
So we're gonna do 6 times 6 equals 36. So altogether you're doing 48, 48, 36. Please stand up when you have your answer. All right, Cam, what'd you come up with? 132? Give me a thumbs up if you agree with that. All right. Yes. All right, homework tonight.
Yes.
So you're doing number 4. You're doing number 5. You're doing number 9. And you're doing number 8. Okay, so we got 4, 5, 8, 9.
What about 7 and 10?
No. You have
Can we
to
do
do
them if
something.
we want to?
Huh?
Can we do them if we want to? Like
Absolutely, but if you do those and not the ones for homework, you don't get credit. Alright, so you have 4 problems for homework tonight. Go ahead, take this. You can get started because I just gotta go around and take these up real quick on your homework if you would like. Give me like 2 minutes. I don't think I have any more. Y'all have gone through, I have like 40 notebooks extra this year. You can look, but everybody was supposed to have 4 notebooks for science and math, and somehow I have like negative,
Negative.
just about. Because like I said, I started the year with like 40 extra.
There's a
Huh?
there's a
You're
There's
done.
4 more?
No, 5.
5 more. That's obnoxious, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't want any. I just want you to have your own. So everybody should be working on their homework, whether it's from last night or tonight. I don't care. Okay, go ahead and you'll notice there are 20 questions around the room. You are working with a partner. Please do not write on the orange pieces of paper. You are doing this on the next page. You should have labeled, I don't know if I had your label or not. If you did not, you need to label math around the room 510. Once you have that labeled, you may go ahead